Connie Jo Sechrist, producer extraordinaire. In a few sentences, who is Connie Jo Sechrist?
I would describe myself as a Renaissance woman. I have knowledge and skills in all sorts of different fields of study. I'm very passionate. I'm very loving. I'm very hardworking. And all around just, I don't know, a great person to work with, a great personality. I like to take care of people. I'm very much a giver in life.
And you're an all-around artist too, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
What inspired you to join this production?
Well, it's a funny story. Well, first of all, just in general, I like telling stories that inspire and impact people and make people really think. So this film being about bullying and cyberbullying really attracted me personally because I have been a victim of bullying in the past when I was little. Luckily, I didn't grow up in the era of social media like kids are today, but I can just imagine what kids are going through with that added element of social media playing a role in bullying. And it's tragic and it shouldn't be happening, especially, in the world that we live in now. So the story dynamic really attracted me to be a part of this film and tell this powerful message, tell this story so that hopefully it will impact people and make them think, before they start bullying other people or think about talking to people about their perspective on bullying or their stories on bullying.
And what did you think about this particular story in the script?
Yes, I thought it was very, very deep. Very deep, has a lot of different messages. What I really liked about the script is that it not only showed the victim's perspective, but it also shows the bully's perspective too, and why bullies are bullies, and how bullies are not born, they're created. And that's what really impacted me mostly about this script and just all the different dynamic messages that it has to give. And I really hope that really impacts a lot of people.
How did you feel about the cast and their impact on each of the characters?
The cast we have is amazing, and I felt really great about actually being hands-on with the cast. I had the opportunity to be a part of handpicking all of our cast for this short film, and all of them bring different elements of their own personalities, their own perspectives, their own stories to each of their roles. And to see that and witness that is just amazing. And they all have great personalities. Luke is completely different from Kyle. He's this great, kid who's just like charming and very warm and giving. And when he turns on that Kyle mode, it's amazing to watch what these actors can do when they just dive deep into their characters.
How did you feel you best impacted the overall production?
I think I best impacted the production by bringing my knowledge of the industry into the producing. And also I feel like I helped out by having the skills as an actor, as an artist, to help kind of formulate the characters and the stories and help handpick those actors that we picked. I think being on the other side of the industry most of the time as an actor, I have that kind of eye and that creative sense of who's kind of really portraying the characters better.
If you could single out your most important contribution to the film, what do you think that was?
I think my most important contribution to the film was that creative mindset that I brought to it. What I loved about working with Paul is I would maybe think about something creatively and then he would then uplift that with even more creative. So for example, how the teaser trailer came about, I had this idea when we were auditioning actors. Why don't we ask them if they're comfortable enough to tell us their bully stories or tell us if they've seen someone get bullied and what their perspective is on that and how they felt about that. And then he then took that idea and went, this would be great for a teaser. So I think that like creative dynamic and aspect, and that artistic knowledge that I have in the film industry really impacted the production.
That's awesome. Do you have a favorite scene from the film?
Yes, I would think my favorite scene from the film is the bar scene, the confrontation between Kyle and Steven. And what I love about that scene is that not only is it so intense with the two characters, but that scene alone can be its own like mini short film, because there's so many messages just within that one scene. You have Kyle, you know, skipping out on school to see his brother. He thinks he's cool. And then his brother kind of reeling in Kyle and bullying Kyle. And then you have Mickey sitting there not saying anything. So there's just so many messages and so many dynamics within that one scene. And the actors did an amazing job portraying it.
Overall, what do you hope the film will achieve?
I just hope this film impacts people. I hope this film really shows people the perspective behind a bully. I know the film is mostly Claire's perspective as being the victim, but there's so many other messages within this film that I really hope people engage in. And that's, you know, bullies are being bullied too, and they have dynamic stories as well. And being upfront with people and talking to your parents about issues that you're going through and standing up for people. I just really hope that impacts at least just one person.
You touched on this just a little bit, but describe your working relationship with the director, with Paul, during development and production and the filming itself.
Yeah, I mean, me and Paul hit it off right away. When I first talked to Paul, we had like an hour and 30-minute conversation on the phone, and I felt like I was talking to an old friend that I haven't talked to in like 10 years. And I originally applied for this film as a COVID safety officer because I just got my certificate. And Paul dived deeper into who I was and looked at my website and saw that I do acting and I do producing and I do all of these other things. And after our conversation, Paul was very clear where he was just like, I need to work with you somehow. I don't know how, but you need to be a part of this. And I felt that too. I felt like I really needed to be a part of it. And he came back and asked if I wanted to produce it. And I was thrilled to produce the film. And since then, our working relationship in development was great. Like I said, we have this like, I feel like we're two different people, but we have the same mind. I feel like I'll think of something and Paul will know exactly what I'm thinking, and then vice versa. Or like I'll spit out like a creative element and then Paul will just add to that creative element. And that's how our relationship was for development and also during production. And I think during production, mainly it was reassuring Paul that he was doing a good job and leading him into the right direction by putting certain elements in place to help him, and also being there when he needed me to be there.
So how would you approach the collaborative process with the production of the feature?
I would say the same way I did with the short film. Me and Paul just have a natural creative relationship, and I think that's never going to go away, and I feel like that's going to push us forward into more and more different productions. So I wouldn't really change that much.
Okay, and looking at Connie Jo, ultimately, what is Connie Jo? What do you want to do in the film industry? What's your desire?
Well, I am a performer. I am an actor, and my desire has always been to tell stories that impact and inspire people and make people think. And I've always wanted to tell those stories through acting. But I became a producer to help my acting career, because as an actor, I feel like sometimes you need to take control of your own path, and you need to collaborate with other people, and you need to explore different roles and different stories that you wouldn't necessarily have the opportunity to do if you're just going through the normal stream of acting. So I kind of want to be that creative producer, but also acting in also my stuff.
That's awesome. Well, it's evident you are successful on both sides of the camera. So thanks so much. Great luck to you.
Thank you.